Economics at CES. And I'll be serving as the host for today's part two and last part of today's health and nutrition seminar. So before we go into reintroduction of who the speakers are, just wanted to provide everyone with a quick recap of yesterday's session. So yesterday's session was really meant to kind of lay an overview of the health and nutrition problem and framework presented by Ben. And then we went into more of the actual diet part provided by Dr. Gu, who did a really great job of illustrating the specific vitamins, the specific types of proteins that we should be eating, with a lot of emphasis on omega-3, drinking the proper amount of water, and continuing how we can, acquire those proteins from certain foods that we see in our daily lives. So as we move into today's seminar, we're kind of shifting more from more of a general protein and nutrition framework into diving deeper and being a little bit more specific. So specifically today, Ben and Dr. Gu are going to continue to kind of illustrate and paint the specific situations where you might meet these proteins in your daily lives. So for instance, laying out like the specific restaurants that high school and college students attend, the food in the cafeteria that we might see. How do you create this perfect diet and perfect meal for yourselves? And how do you stay healthy even when you can't necessarily control the food that's getting like put out in front of you? So a lot of these questions are going to be answered today. The format is going to be relatively the same. Ben and Dr. Gu have prepared a presentation that will take roughly 25 to 35 minutes. And then after that, we'll be setting some time, laying out some time for Q&A. Of course, feel free to send your questions into the chat or DM your questions directly to me, or throughout the presentation or afterwards. Without further ado, I want to introduce Hannah Zhu, who will come up and introduce the speakers. To you, Hannah.
Hi, so first, if you didn't attend part one of yesterday's seminar, we introduced the speakers. So we have Dr. Gu, who has a PhD in material science. Okay, and engineering, and she's also a health consultant and a certified nutrition coach. And next we have Ben. Yeah, next we have Ben, a health consultant for over a decade. He has also helped with over 300 clients and has over 1.3 million views on YouTube and TikTok.
So I guess I'm going to continue. Actually, I'm the first one who talk today, and after that, Ben will talk more about choosing the good food from the restaurant. So I'm going to share my screen right now. Okay. Let's talk about the general guideline for a healthy meal. Okay, and this actually is from USDA diet guidelines. Okay, and based on this guideline, we should have one plate, and half of the plate are actually fruits and vegetables. Okay, and we also mentioned yesterday the importance of the color of different food. So make sure you eat a rainbow. That is very important to make sure you have all different nutrients you need. And that's easy to control because we're not machine. It's really hard to measure the amount for each nutrients. So choose different color. And just keep in mind that fruits cannot replace vegetable. This is something we probably do all the time, especially for kids. If they don't like vegetable, then give them fruit, which is not really right. So we should train everyone to eat more vegetable. And if we do not have fruits, that's fine. But if we do not have vegetables, then that's probably very bad for our health. And another part is protein, and usually like the protein from meat, for example, beef, chicken, pork, and they are good. If you choose lean meat, then that'd be better. And it's better to put like fish or seafood in your protein part, and also some plant protein like beans or whole grain. Sorry, beans and like black bean, chickpea, and they are actually very important protein as well. And another part is grain, and we prefer to choose whole grain instead of, for example, white flour. And also maybe keep a cup of milk or yogurt or some other dairy products with your meal. That'd be perfect. And we also mentioned yesterday, it's better to have fermented food in every meal, so keep that in mind as well. But the thing is, this is a pretty good guideline we should follow, but what is the size of the plate? Okay, and everyone have different size, different weight, different appetites, then how much is enough? So there's actually more practical plan, and we can follow. It's very easy to follow. Now you can use your hand to measure. This is a very simple eating plan. And the first part, of course, is fruit and the vegetable. And you actually can open your hand and have a handful of vegetables and fruit. Again, fruits cannot replace vegetable. And if you have a lot of like raw vegetables like leaves, then you can double, even triple the volume here. But if are like broccoli and some beans, then you have to make it a little bit smaller amount here. And this is the first part of your healthy meal. And the second part will be protein. And it's ideal to have the protein both from the plant source and meat source. And both of them provide different nutrients. And for example, tofu and egg, okay, and a lot of legumes, and they give us actually a lot of high quality protein and also carbs as well. So they are actually both high in protein and carbs. And of course, meat, fish, chicken, and so on. And maybe pork or beef, and they're all good, but fish obviously is the best. Chicken is also good. And the last one is carbs. And carbs, well, here shows maybe you can eat rice, bread, but again, we prefer whole grain because that give you more fibers and give you more nutrients here. And when you eat, it's better start from fruit and then your protein, and then last will be carb, because when you eat, you have all these necessary nutrients, which are really important for our health, but actually carbs are not essential. And we can survive and be healthy without this so-called carbs here, because you actually can get the carbs from fruits and all this plant protein. So this is the last, and you can see the shape here. For the protein, it's kind of like your fist size. So if you are a big guy and have a very large fist, and you are lucky, you can eat more. And if you are a young lady, a very small fist, then you eat less. So it's more practical. And another one as a carb, and you can see it's a very small amount. If you just look at your hand right now and imagine this amount, this probably only 2 to 3 bites. And actually based on that USDS diet guidelines, you only need 3 slices of bread every day. So it's not a lot of carbs. And most of us actually eat more than we need. Okay, so these are something I want to introduce you. And when Ben talk about the food you buy from the restaurant, then you know what you are missing. Okay, so if you buy, for example, the burger, and you know you are missing fruits, maybe and vegetables, maybe you should add a little bit after you go home or before you go eat that burger. And I think for many of us, because of our lifestyle and also it's a very new trend. Everyone like to prepare the food like for 3 to 4 days in advance. And you can see, I actually choose a picture. You can clearly see that vegetable and fish, right? And here are vegetables and healthy whole food, which I think is like a yam, and protein. So they are really in a very good ratio here, and very balanced, and the fruits and vegetables in one bag. And there's actually a lot of tips. You can just Google it, and I'm not going to introduce everything here, but I strongly suggest you to buy or invest some high quality containers. I'm not a big fan of using plastic container, but I just feel like the foods inside are pretty good and very healthy, so that's why. And also clean your vegetable and the fruits very well and without water, because it's very easy to be rotted if it's wet. So there's a lot of tips. You can just go Google it. It's very easy to get it. And if you do that, maybe it takes like 2 hours to do it in the weekend, but you actually save a lot of time. And the average time you cook one meal is probably less than 10 minutes. So it's not that slow. Okay. And I also suggest you guys to download some kind of app, and I think this is a pretty good one. There's many different apps you can just download, and they are very good for you to plan your meal in advance, and it give you the shopping list and give you a very balanced meal for every day. And for example, I just snapshot one recipe here. You can see it's a grilled lemon, and it give you the calories, okay, and give you the ingredients, and after that how to cook it. And most of you actually less than 15 minutes. It's not very long. So cooking for me, I'm not a very I do not like cooking at all, but I feel planning actually is a problem for myself. Cooking itself is not that time consuming, but most of the time I just do not know what I should cook, what I should eat. That's a problem. I think for many of us, once you have a plan, then cooking is not that time consuming, especially you use the app, and as I said, most of them are actually less than 15 minutes to cook, and they are actually very well planned and balanced. You have all the nutrients you need. And here, for example, I show today the suggested meal. You can choose from like Japanese food, Chinese food, Italian food, anywhere which you like, and they will give you the total calorie you have for one day, and what your preference. If someone want to eat a big lunch and a small amount of dinner, you can just switch this too, and it's also a good snack idea. So you can find all this healthy food there without a lot of headache here. I think the subscription is about $9 a month, or probably $60 a year. And I believe it's a good investment, especially for college students. You just start your own life, and you do not like cook a lot before. And about nutrition is another thing. So cook plus balanced diet is really challenging. So I think using app is a good idea, and you can search, there's more app, and I think this one is pretty good. You can try that. And another one is, well, you think eating healthy is very important. We all know that, but I do like some junk food. How can I do? And that probably happens to everyone. And remember that 80-20 rule, that applies to a lot of things, okay? If you eat your 80% of food healthy and only have a little bit junk food, which is less than 20%, maybe you have a one cheat day per week, that is totally fine, okay? But just don't addict to the junk food all the time. And when you choose this 20% food, which is the favorite and junk food, then you have to be very careful. We mentioned some of the food we should avoid, like sugar or highly refined grain or processed food before, but I didn't mention this is another reason why so many people have some mood problem, memory problem, or some brain damage, just because of a lot of food additives now. And I list 3, which is confirmed related to our brain health, and it actually can lead to anxiety, depression, okay, many brain issue. And another one, I would encourage everyone, get a habit. Always read a food label before you put it in your grocery cart. And this is actually very, very important. I like to kind of like give you some examples, and we read together and make it as a habit at the very beginning, unless you know that food very well, you understand the ingredients already. if everything new, and then please read the label before you decide to buy it. And the food dye, that is another thing, which is actually in a lot of drinks, candies, and even chips, they have the dyes, okay? And this is not only related to brain damage, but I'm sure you heard there's a lot of kids today, they have ADHD, autism, right? But 30 years ago, there's no many kids. When I was small, I do not remember any of my classmates have ADHD, or maybe because no one go to doctor, but obviously most of them looks fine. And the reason, because when we were young, there's no a lot of food additives there, and no many food dyes in the processed food or snack, and that's one reason. So let's try to practice, okay? I just choose some fruit, snack, okay? And this one, Cheetos, and many of us like it, me too. But let's read the label first. And I believe some of you guys like to do the nutrition fact, and usually you look at the calories and sugar. And for this one, well, we already know it's junk food, but why? Okay, let's take a look. And usually when you read the ingredients, the first one obviously is a majority in this bag, right? And then the second one is vegetable oil. And based on my nutrition background, I do not like vegetable oil, and because there's a lot of omega-6, I already mentioned omega-6 is a trigger of inflammation and the damage of our cell membrane, so we should try to avoid. And this is I highlighted, and this one actually on market, most of them, I should not say most, but probably a lot of them actually are gene modified, okay? So you have to be careful, and this is artificial flavor. Anything artificial is very easy to give us inflammation. And MSG, and don't think just MSG in China are only in Chinese restaurant. Actually, it's everywhere now in US. All the snacks and pre-cooked meal, and they all have this MSG. And artificial color, I mentioned artificial color actually related to depression, a lot of mood problem, and also it's related to ADHD. And artificial color actually confirm it may trigger cancer too. So you have to be very careful. If you see a lot of ingredients and they're not very easy name to read, then probably should avoid that food or eat less, okay? And another one I pick, and actually Ben will mention later, not all the yogurts on market are healthy, and don't think yogurt are healthy. It's not true. And you have to read the label again and take a look. And this is something you should focus. And many good yogurt, they will show here no fake fruit, no artificial flavor, no artificial sweeteners, and no preservative, and no gluten, okay, and no BST, that is the hormone for milk. So you should choose the yogurt or any kind of dairy product and shows this. And let's take a look at the ingredients and the nutrition fact. And for the nutrition fact, I would say this is not perfect. The reason is usually if we choose a healthy food in one serve, that sugar should less than 10 grams. Okay, that is a guideline. Or every day we should not eat more than 25 grams of sugar. And here one serve have 13 grams, which is a little bit high, but not that bad, which is okay. It's not that bad. And when you look at the ingredients, it's very clean. Okay, there's no any chemical, no artificial sweetening, because it actually shows here. So when you read it, it's actually very good. And the only thing here I would little bit picky is this gum, which is a thickener, okay, and make your yogurt thicker and looks better. That's the only thing probably we can consider. Other than that, it's pretty good. And let's take a look at another yogurt. And this yogurt, and we all think is very healthy because the brand is good and have a lot of alive culture, good bacteria, and the calorie is really low because most of us really want to look at this number. But when you look at the ingredients, it's actually a very bad choice. And let's take a look. I highlighted some of the ingredients here. And the first one is, of course, milk. That's fine. Strawberry, water. And then this modified food starch, that is actually a not very good food additive. Okay, it helps to thicken the milk, the yogurt, but actually it's not very good for our health. And all these food additives actually are the triggers for our body inflammation, which is actually the core cause for many chronic diseases. And you can see that glutening. So these are all the extra things we should not see them in food, but you see them all the time because they want to keep their food more competitive and looks nice, tastes better. And that's why they put all this food additive and this too. Okay, I'm not going to read the name, but in Chinese, both of them are actually 人工甜味剂, all the artificial sweeteners. And then you may ask why they add two different type of artificial sweeteners. The reason because FDA or every country, they have their limitation for all the food additives. And that means if they want to keep this yogurt sweet enough by using one artificial sweeteners, it's not enough. And because of limitation, they will add more different type. And you can imagine how much different artificial sweeteners and other food additive you take every day. So from these ingredients, I do not recommend that, but if you just occasionally like eat one or two, that's okay. But in general, we should avoid the food have a lot of food additives. So always check the food label, make sure the label is clean, okay? Actually, this is something I want to introduce today because I try to choose 3 different snacks and help you to have a habit. Okay, so always start from reading food label and then make a decision should you buy it or eat it. And now I'll let Ben continue.
Thank you, Gokuguk. Thank you for these analysts. I'll just add my spotlight there. Okay. You guys can see it. Okay. Then, so all this just to remind everybody that we're focusing on the diet because all this diet actually contributes to how our gut is sending different signals to control our mind and our body. So just to remind why are we so much focusing on these foods, you probably heard of this before, focus on great diet, but the key thing is that it all relates back to the gut, and essentially you'll feel it and through your emotions, your energy, and your mood. So I just want to go through some FAQs first. And because of our gut, a lot of the bowel movement, so how often you go to the washroom is a key to see if you have a healthy gut or a leaky gut. Leaky gut meaning it's leaking back the poo back into your blood system, back into your body. So that's not what we want. So what is a regular bowel movement is at least 3 times a day. 3 times a day to 3 times a week. So if you are only like doing it once a week, which I know a lot of young female actually has because of their hormones, so that's not normal. So if you only go to the washroom once a week, most likely you're constipated, and most likely the toxin in the poo is going back into your blood system, causing some mood change, causing some acne breakouts, causing a lot of tiredness. So no matter how much you sleep, it won't help. So if you have those symptoms and if you're not pooing enough, your bowel movement is not active enough, active meaning 3 times a day to 3 times a week, then you really need to take a look, especially people who had a lot of acne. No matter if your acne is around your face, your neck, your chest area, or even your back for the guys. All these areas are, if you have excessive acne. So these are all signs of your bowel movement. So you're not pooing enough. And if you're not pooing enough, it's because of your gut. And how do we fix our gut? That's what we've been talking these 2 days. So the second one is diet pop. Okay, so like Dr. Gu said, addictive sugars are not real sugar. So it's actually not that great. I know I like to go for diet pop before, or some flavored carbonated drinks, and I thought those were okay, but after really knowing, like, fake sugar is really bad. So anything 0 calorie, 0 sugar, those are not that great. So it's equivalent to, it's just as bad as drinking pop. So just to keep something in mind that you guys know, so you start to stay away from. Juices. Juice is not okay because it's packed with just sugar, plain sugar. Okay, so for all the parents on this call, I want to tell you that most of the juices, especially orange juice that you guys buy for the kids for breakfast, is not that great, especially the bigger brands. The sugar content is just sugar. So unless you're making it yourself, apple juice, orange juice, mango juice, all those are most likely just sugar, okay? So this little thing to pay attention to. Next is probiotic. Yesterday, Dr. Gu did mention a little bit about probiotic, prebiotic, and postbiotic. So 3 different things: pre, pro, and post. Okay, they're supplements, so they're pills that you can take. They're natural. Can they fix your gut? No, they cannot fix your gut, but they can definitely help your gut. Okay, so it's better than taking nothing. So just a little bit pay attention, but it's not like a one pill fix all kind of deal. Second is, like, snacking wreck your gut. So as long as you eat within your calorie count, snacking is totally fine. Okay, you can snack all you want. Yesterday, Dr. Gu said dark chocolate is a great snack. So if you guys want to be safe and you want to snack, dark chocolate would be a great go-to. Okay. Next is breakfast is a must. Another myth I want to break it to you guys, especially to the parents: breakfast is actually how we break our fast. Fasting is a state where you do not eat for a certain period of time. So how breakfast should be looked at is your first thing that's going into your stomach. It is not a time of the day. So if you choose not to eat first thing you wake up, that's totally fine. Okay. The key is what you break your fast with. Fasting meaning you're not eating a period of time. So a period of 12, 8 hours, long period of time that you're fasting, nothing in your stomach, but just water. Okay. So how you break your fast is key. A lot of the parents say, oh, breakfast is very, very, very important, but yet they give them cereal, they give them sugar, juice. That's not okay. Okay, so if you're having breakfast and you're having just sugar juice and some sugar cereal, I'd rather you not have those things. Okay, I'd rather you have quality dense food, what Dr. Gu had presented to us. So you breaking your fast is where you put the first food in your system. Okay, not counting water. So no matter if it's liquid like coffee, juice, or pop, those are breaking your fast. Anything with calories, those are breaking your fast. So how to break the fast is a key. So you want to break the fast with good quality foods. Okay, that's another whole detail if you guys want to how to break fast or how fasting is. But let me know in the comments if you guys do want to know more. We could arrange another class for that, for how to fast and how to break the fast. Okay. Next, all yogurts are good for the gut. No. So Dr. Gu just mentioned not all yogurts are good. Some are packed with sugar, fake sugar. Okay. So normal yogurt should be no sugar, no taste. That's why you add fruits to it. Okay, that's when you add frozen fruits, nuts, and then chia seeds to it so that it has some flavor. I always like to add some raw honey So it gives that sweet taste to yogurt when you buy the plain yogurt that has no sugar in it, okay? So a lot of people are scared of fruits. They have too much sugar, or they stay away from fruits because they're like, oh, there's way too much sugar, it's bad for me. Fruit sugar is way better than you drinking a pop, okay? Fruit sugar is way better than you drinking those fake sugar. So it's better than refined sugar, it's better than candy, it's better than white sugar. So I'd much rather you have fruit sugar, like real fruits, than adding some fake sugar into your diet, okay? Some girls or even guys says, sugar calms my mood. I like to have sugar when I'm stressed out. It gives me that calmness, but it's temporary. You're feeding the bad bacteria, and the bad bacteria is letting you calm down because it's taking in all the sugar at that moment. But in the long run, down like a week, it will mess up your mood. It'll put you in kind of emo mode. It'll give you very moody. Your hormone will be imbalanced. You'll be breaking out more. So next time when you reach for that chocolate bar, if it's not dark chocolate, throw it away. If you reach for some like candy, throw it away, because if you don't want to be moody, if you want to stay like emotionally well, you want to stay away from sugar. Just remember the consequences of the sugar, okay? Next. Bottled water, is it better? No, it is not. But drinking water from yesterday, we know from Dr. Gu that is very, very, very important. I personally drink a gallon a day. This is 1 gallon. 1 gallon, I only finish 1 gallon a day, and that's good. So how much water we drink yesterday, Dr. Gu already mentioned, is by weight, but bottled water does not mean it's good, because there's actually a lot of plastic in bottled water. And as you can see, the most popular brand, Nestle, is the top brand where it contains most plastic in bottled water. So just be careful. The alternative is to filter your water, okay? Have a good filtered water. That's another water class. Again, let me know in the comments if you guys want to know how to combat that bottled water. Where should I get water? I know drinking water is good. If you want more class on that, let me know in the comments, okay? And then a lot of you guys don't probably like to drink water because of the taste or no taste or taste of tap water. I get it, but you have to understand 70% of your body is water. So if you don't drink enough, it's more likely to retain water. That's when all the girls always tell me, oh, I drink water, but I'll get puffy. I get even big, like rounder. That's not because of water. That's because you're not drinking enough water. So when you're lacking of water, the little bit you put in, it will hold on to it, and it will most likely make you swell up or bulk up. That's because you're lacking water, okay? So how much water is enough? Again, it's by your weight, but at least it should be 2 liters per day, okay? So again, if you want to know more about water and how to drink more water, how to combat water, let me know in the comments if you guys want another class about that. Now we go into restaurants. So I know a lot of you guys are super, super busy with your assignments, essays, and projects and all that. You might go with these restaurants. So hopefully I can get Dr. Gu back on. Is Dr. Gu here?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, I think right now, if you go to the restaurant, you probably know what kind of food you should choose. Make sure you have balanced protein, vegetables and carbs. But the problem is most of the fast food, you probably can have protein, which is not really high quality, but it's still protein, and carbs, but it's really, sorry about that. And so you have to be wisely choose. This menu is a little bit too small for me.
Okay, but I think AAA is pretty safe because it's mainly you pick your protein, and then you get your carbs, and then the only thing I would suggest when you go to AAA is probably remain from the white rice, right, Dr. Gu? We should focus on like some beans, the pinto beans and brown rice instead of the white rice.
Right.
So
Yeah.
next we have sweet greens. So sweet green is pretty safe choice as well because the base is all vegetables and all fiber, and you get all kinds of different beans, vegetables, guac on the top, and the sauces. So these two are pretty safe. Five Guys, let me know in the comments if you have, is Five Guys burgers your favorite? So Five Guys burgers, I would say, is a pretty much done deal where it's no matter what you eat, it's pretty much not that healthy. But if Five Guys is the only choice you have around, I would recommend you guys add some, toppings to it, right? At least have some pickles, tomatoes, onions, mushrooms, right, Dr. Gu? So at least they get some fiber, right, in the
Yeah,
burger.
that's right.
Because not all burgers have fiber. I mean, even adding that little bit of tomato, pickles, onions, and mushroom, you probably won't even hit it, but it's better than nothing because at least you're having fiber with these refined carbs, the hamburger bun. So again, like something to keep in mind if you do choose Five Guys for your lunch or your dinner or your Uber Eats takeout, okay? So next is Shake Shack. So same thing. This is a burger place. Again, so this yogurt, shakes, those milkshakes is packed with sugar, right, Dr. Gu? So something like it's a trap. I know I love Shake Shack, but like when you go, you just have to make sure that you're more aware. So this is one of the 80-20 cheat meals, right? What Dr. Gu said, the 20% of our cheat meal. So if that's part of your 20, it's okay, but just keep in mind that I had my 80-20 for the week already. Next is Poke Bowl. So this Poke brand is part around the campus where you guys are. And I say Poke Bowl is pretty safe because it's fish, seafood, and there's a lot of vegetables. The only thing is if you can choose your base, which is you can probably choose brown rice or even like vegetable as your Poke Bowl. So stay away from white rice again, right? Dr. Gu?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a pretty safe bet for next thing is Chick-fil-A. So Chick-fil-A is another fried chicken burger place where it's a great go-to spot when you're like last minute deal. So instead of grill where it's soaking up all the oil that we learned from Dr. Gu to not to have, right? So we should have at least the grill side. So grill is better than the fried chicken. But again, I understand if you want to have that crispy fried chicken, I understand. It's just something to have in mind. If there is something that you can choose, then you should have at least the grill part, okay? Next. We have Kung Fu Cha or any kind of bubble tea out there. I know this is a great thing to have sipping when you're studying, when you're just grilling away for your essay. I get it. It's a very good thing to have on the side, but this is packed with sugar, okay? This is packed with the syrup sugar. There are certain teas like black tea and green teas, which are better alternatives. I also see there's yogurt drinks that are in this menu or in most of the bubble tea place. But again, I want to tell you that these yogurts are not real yogurts. It's not the yogurts that we've been telling you, right, Dr. Gu? These yogurts are packed with like sugars, right? So we're pretty much just drinking like sugar water with a little bit of yogurt in it. So we want to make sure that, when you look at these bubble tea choice, this will go into your 80-20 cheat meal day again. So if you're not picking tea, this plain black tea or plain green tea, and if you're adding on any of those toppings, you're pretty much hitting your 80-20 cheat meal day, okay? If you want to add some toppings, the only probably healthy one is the red bean because it's some kind of fiber. It's a bean fiber, but it's probably soaked in a lot of sugar water, I can imagine, okay? So other than that, most of them are pretty bad. Again, it's because of its sugar content, okay? It's all the sugar that's coming into your system. Okay. Again, next with Panda Express, I think Panda Express is like a half-half. It can get very healthy if you do like mushroom chicken or broccoli beef. I highly doubt you guys would go for those situations, but just something to keep in mind if you do have more intention to get healthier gut, healthier mood, better energy, then pick those mushroom chicken or broccoli beef or even black pepper chicken, like stuff with more fiber in it, so you're more likely to get your fiber intake. And with side choices, you should add some mixed vegetables instead of like the steamed rice. Okay. Starbucks breakfast menu. So this is something that you guys probably eat a lot and an easy go. I would focus on hitting a protein count, because Dr. Koo also mentioned hitting the protein first is one of our goals. So proteins options, like not that many, but having an egg is better not than just having a plain bagel. The sausage is probably filled with a lot of MSG, so I would stay away from the sausage, but at least the egg or egg white, the bacon, the turkey bacon is better choice than sausage. Okay, better choice than the plain bagels. And then for the last row where you get oatmeals and like parfaits, those are packed with sugar. Okay, and if you want to make those, later on I'm giving you guys all a free cookbook where there's so many recipes that are super easy to make just at home with just a fridge. If you have a fridge in your dorm room or even in your room, you're able to make that. Okay, even a tiny fridge, like a hotel small fridge, you're perfect. Okay, so if you're going with the parfaits, the overnight oatmeal and chia seed puddings that you're buying from Starbucks, I'd much rather you guys eat it, make it by yourself. Okay, and then Bouchon, I heard a lot of people like fried chicken, Bouchon fried chicken. So this is like something that, again, is gonna hit the 80-20. So this will be your cheat meal, okay? It's not something that we can really avoid because we gotta live life, right? But again, if yesterday, if you remember, Dr. Koo said, have at least a little bit of kimchi. It's not that much. I remember it's around like a couple teaspoons or tablespoons. That's all we need, right? So if you do end up going to fried chicken, Korean fried chicken, right? Grab some kimchi, grab a plate of kimchi. The whole plate is yours, okay? You're gonna down that kimchi with these fried chicken. At least that will help a little bit, so your gut won't be as angry to you, okay? So it's okay to have a couple cheat meals, but add in those kimchis, add in those little tips that Dr. Koo has mentioned, so we can still enjoy life. And then again, so we're just rule of thumb, if you're really in a hurry, a 5-minute meal, I would say, is a go to a protein shake that you can blend yourself, or a protein bar you can make yourself, or you can buy. When you buy protein bars or buy protein shake outside, if they're prepackaged, again, make sure you read the labels, not too much sugar, not too much fake sugar, because a lot of protein bars add a lot of sugar in it as well. So something to be mindful of. If you have 30-minute, I would say prep something at home, have some pasta, and the key is to have protein, okay? Have some like chicken breast or some kind of protein meat, being meat or plant-based tofu or beans, okay? But that's something that you can stir up in 30 minutes. Again, you can find it in the cookbook that I'm giving it to you in the end. Takeouts, focus on the healthy situation, alternatives that we point out, the poke bowl, the green salad, all those are great for takeouts and Uber Eats, okay? Late night snacks is probably a lot of you guys after, closing that last chapter and call it a night, but you want to have something before you go to bed. So toast with kefir and then some nuts on top and some fruits or some cottage cheese, no flavor, and some fruits on top will be a great done deal. You'll be full, you'll be healthy, and your gut won't be angry at you, okay? For guys, the cottage cheese with fruits is super good for if you're working out. It gives you great protein that's gonna feed your muscles over the night. Okay, so if guys who are working out and still hungry at night, cottage cheese with fruits or raw honey, drizzle some raw honey on it, you'll be done. Okay. So I hope these all give you a little bit insight on what are some alternatives that you can have, not just some boring like salads. And I know it's hard when you're grinding away with your exams and essays. So I hope all this can give you a little bit insight on how to do it. And as promised, here you guys, this is the free guide and free cookbook there's in there, and some tips in terms of how we're gonna heal the gut. Once you scan it, it'll bring you to a page where you just enter your name and email, and then it'll be sent to your email. And once you open the email, it'll have some cookbooks and some guides to guide you through the long journey. I know these 2 days, 2 hours is a lot packed in, so it might be hard. I get it. So that is why we're offering this free guide and free cookbook so that you guys can continue to improve on your gut health. Again, your gut controls your mood, your hormones, your sleep, your energy level, everything. So if you want to be healthy, happy, take care of your gut. Okay, thank you guys. And so now we can open up the floor for any questions.
Awesome. If everyone could give a virtual round of applause for Ben and Dr. Gu. Thank you guys so much again.
Thank you.
I know we're running a little short pressed on time, but let's go ahead and go through some of these questions. So I guess the first question that we can go into is regarding water from Dylan. The question is just, what type of water do you guys recommend? Maybe we could start with Ben since you're drinking water right now.
So I used to love bottled water, and I thought bottled water is safe from big companies like Dasani or those big companies. But again, I showed you guys that most of these plastic bottled waters have a lot of microplastic that you're taking in. So those are not safe. Okay. If you want to buy bottled water, buy glass bottled water. Yes, those might cost a bit more, but those are a lot safer. Okay. That's why if you pay more attention, a lot of the healthy drinks that you see on the shelf on the supermarket, the really healthy ones, they're all glass bottles. None of them use plastic bottles. But in terms of water, get yourself a good filter. Good filter will walk you down a good ton. A good filter also would take out all the chemicals and chlorine, and a good filter also helps put in back the hydrogen into the water for antioxidants purposes. So again, that will be in the guide, so you guys can have a little more in depth, or you guys can have another class. So that's because water is a whole 70% of body is water. So that's a whole big topic that I can't really cover in just 2 minutes.
Awesome. Let's go with the next question. So this next question has to do with the statistics of, actually, let's go to, I think this question is really, really helpful for some parents. From Amy, what foods are the best for kids who are picky? I think this would be very helpful. Maybe Dr. Gu, since you have children of your own, if you want to start off with this question.
To be honest, I feel here at my home. I'm probably the only one who really pay attention to nutrition. Yes, my daughter is really picky, and I realize she doesn't eat vegetable. Okay, and then when she was young, I tried to give her a lot of fruits, which is wrong. Now I realize that. But another thing I actually try to improve today, like this year, and I try to buy some yogurt with a very high protein and sugar, because it's really hard to balance. So I will buy some plain kefir and then mix them together. So that's why she will eat it, at least drink it with some good nutrients there, and lower the sugar level, kind of like a balanced. Okay, and yeah, it's very challenging. You have to just keep in mind, let them try all different foods and find the one they like. At the same time, they are very healthy. For example, my daughter doesn't eat seafood, but she really likes that spicy tuna roll, which is Japanese food. And I really like that, which is really healthy, a little bit unhealthy because of the sauce, but other than that, it's pretty good. So I just teach her how to do it by herself to save money, which is only maybe 10-15 minutes cooking. So just try to explore, I think, and find someone of the food from the healthy part. And I'm sure there's some they like.
I want to add to that because I do help a lot of younger clients, and by encouraging them is when the problem arise, meaning that when they have breakouts, when they have breakout on their back or on their chest, when they can't wear tank top in the summer, I'll be like, if you've experienced that and you don't want that next summer, then pay more attention to what you eat, because you have to be reversing. So I'm speaking to all of you students out there too. So for the guys, if you don't want breakouts or like just smelling too like pungent after working out, that's also like a sign where your gut is not healthy. For girls, it's acne around your chest, back. If you don't want that, pay more attention to your food. So whatever you don't want in terms of like skin wise and your health wise is most likely contributing by your gut. So that's why you pay more attention to food. I can't say, I'm sure we all were raised by parents like, eat this, eat this. But when we don't see the reason why, we will never change this habit. So I hope that reversing it, you guys see the why.
Awesome. Thank you so much. The next question has to do with the pooping patterns. So I guess this was some people in the audience were confused with the statistics of ranging from having 3 poops a day to 3 poops a week. That's anywhere from the 3 poops a week to 21 poops a week, which seems like a really wide range. And then it seems the convention that we've heard a lot is pooping every day. So I was wondering, Ben, if you could address that.
Obviously, if you can, 1 per day it's fine, and 3 times max per day is still fine. But anything above 3 per day is not fine, because I know some people who like 5, 10, 8 times a day. Those are not fine. Okay, that's not good. So 3 max a day is still okay. 1 a day is still okay. And then some are like, oh, but I don't have to go. I got nothing to poo out, right? Then 3 a week is still okay, but 3 a week is the least. Like that's when you're close to the red zone where your constipation. So 3 per week is like the red zone already. But I'm just giving you a range where people don't freak out like, oh no, I don't have 3 a day, or I only have 1 a day. So 3 per day max. Okay, max. Anything above, you're not good. 3 per week minimum. Anything less, okay, if you're only doing 1 per week or twice per week, you're definitely having problems. Okay, 3 per week, you're on the borderline. So I hope that really gives you a big range. In the middle, yes, it's a big range, but at least that's where you guide. 1 per day is the obviously optimal part. But again, the diagram also shows you but that diagram's part is more towards people who are only putting 3 a week. They have poo every like 3 a week, but what's coming out is not the best. Also, with like more than 3 times a day, the people, those ones are probably not coming out as solid. It's probably coming out as just like a fountain. So to give you guys a good range is like, just play around with it. It's a big one, so you're safe.
Yeah, and I just want to add a little bit. Okay, other than times, and pay attention to the shape. Okay, banana shape, that is the best. If it's not that, then you need to improve your diet.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thank you so much. That was actually my follow-up. There was some people were confused on if there was different types of poop that you should try to aim for. So thanks for answering that. Next question actually goes to Dr. Gu. From Chris, he had a question about the difference between sugar and carbs from a dietary perspective. Are they the same or equally bad / ill-advised?
Well, the reason we say both of them are bad, because they are eventually the end product is sugar. Okay, just different format. And because of that, if we eat very simple carbs, that is same as sugar, and it will very you probably know that GI index number is high, then you probably will have your blood sugar up down a lot, have a spike, which is very bad for our health. And for the complex carb, for example, whole grain, or you eat some, like, for example, yam, okay, all the whole product, that is fine with a reasonable amount, but try to avoid all the simple carbs like flour, white rice, or any baked goods.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We reached 9 o'clock. So everyone feel free to drop. I know we started 5 minutes late, so we'll just answer a couple of these last couple of questions in the group chat. So next question goes back to Ben. I think this served as a follow-up to what you talked about earlier with the water. The question is, what do you think about drinking tap water directly? Should it be at least boiled? If not, should they use a filter?
It really depends where you are, but drinking tap water, I used to live, so I am in Canada. Canada used to be the safest country in the whole world to drink tap water, but that went away already. So tap water, I would say, is not the best, no matter where you are. There's still a lot of bacteria and even chlorine just to treat the water, okay? It's just to treating the water. So I would say at least boil it, but boiling it does not take out the chemicals or chlorine from it. So you do still need at least a basic filter. But when you have a filter, again, this is a big topic. So just to give you a very short answer, you do need filter of any kind is good. But that's a whole big topic that it takes maybe another workshop if you guys are interested.
Awesome. Next question, let's go up a little bit for students who are athletes or maybe have just come back from a sports game or are training. Do you guys have any recommendations for types of food for them to start off with? Protein.
Can't stress enough. It could be like dense protein, like cottage cheese, like without any flavor. But again, you can make some honey, raw honey. Remember, raw honey and fruits. If not, if you're too rushed, protein shake. Protein shake with not too much sugar. Okay, and don't mix too much juice in it or whatever. You can add some coconut water into your protein shake. Gives you some electrolytes for those athletes to boost up your energy. But after training, after a workout, protein, high quality protein. Okay, let's not eat some like low quality protein. Yes, pea protein is okay. Acne related to protein is it can be, but again, if you have a lot of acne problem, focus on your gut. Okay. I used to have acne all over my jawline and in my chest and in my back. I always thought it was some kind of my washing, my bathing, my shower gel is not right, my sheets are dirty. No, okay, it could be, but the main cause is your gut. Okay, if you have any kind of acne anywhere on you, back, front, chest, face, neck, anywhere, it's because of your gut. Take care of your gut and it will slowly go away, because the toxin in your gut, the poo, it's going back into the bloodstream. And guess where your blood is? Everywhere. Okay, your blood touches everywhere. And if there's toxin, if there's poo toxin in your blood, more likely you have inflammation. Acne is inflammation. So Dr. Gu always been talking about inflammation. It causes inflammation. This type of food causes inflammation. Acne is type of inflammation. So again, focus on the gut and don't eat those inflammation foods.
Awesome. Let's do one last question. So this question goes back from Helen. My daughter has very little time for breakfast every morning. Do you guys have a suggestion for a healthy breakfast for high school or college students? Maybe Ben, this could, maybe you can introduce the book that you shared, the cookbook you shared at the end a little bit, and also use this as a chance for last words to the audience.
I would say eggs, because following what Dr. Gu was, omega-3 is important. So omega-3 is in eggs. So if I only have so little time, I'll throw in like 1 or 2 eggs in the breakfast and then I can go. But no sugar stuff, no sugar juice, no sugar cereal. Those are so bad. No waffles that are like from Eggo. Those are sugar too. Okay. So that's my take.
Yeah, never buy cereal. Okay, it's not a healthy food at all. It's just junk.
Awesome. I think that's a great place to end off there. Just want to thank everyone so much. Hope everyone learned from the session as much as I did personally. Thank you guys so much on behalf, speaking on behalf of the 80 people that were here today. And I hope, thank you everyone in the audience for joining us today. And I hope that everyone has a great night. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.